The HOA called the city on my wildlife pond 41 times in one summer, so I filed a federal environmental suit that cost them their charter and their reputations. My name is Julian, and I'm a retired environmental consultant. I own 12 acres of protected wetlands and meadow in Virginia that just so happens to border a fancy community of cookie-cutter mansions. My land has been a registered National Wildlife Federation habitat since 1994, long before those houses were even built. But the new HOA president, a guy named Howard who wears a blazer to get his mail, decided my unmanaged swamp was a mosquito breeding ground and was ruining the neighborhood's luxury vibe. He demanded I pave it over or turn it into a chlorinated pond. When I refused, the harassment began. Over 90 days, Howard and his board called the health department, the zoning office, and even the sheriff 41 separate times. I had inspectors at my gate every single Tuesday. Of course, they never found a single violation, but the constant pressure was infuriating. Howard even posted on the neighborhood app that I was harboring West Nile virus. That's when I stopped being nice and started being an expert. I hired an engineer and spent $5,000 on a full survey of my property, and we found something Howard didn't want anyone to see: a secret, unpermitted overflow pipe from the HOA's oversized swimming pool complex. They were dumping thousands of gallons of chlorinated, chemically treated water directly into my protected wetland to avoid paying disposal fees. I didn't call the city. I called the EPA. Under the Clean Water Act, what they were doing is a federal offense. I filed a citizen suit and included all 41 of those bogus police and inspector reports as evidence of their attempt to distract me from their own illegal dumping. The EPA showed up, took soil samples, and found high levels of chlorine and toxic algicides right where the HOA's pipe ended. About 10 days later, Howard received a federal cease and desist order. His face went completely gray when he realized the fines were $37,000 per day, per violation, retroactive to when the pipe was installed. Their insurance refused to cover intentional illegal acts, and Howard and the treasurer were personally named in the suit. The settlement was brutal. The HOA had to pay me $850,000 for wetland restoration and emotional distress, plus a $200,000 federal fine. Best of all, Howard and his entire board were forced to resign, and the HOA had to sign a permanent deed restriction forbidding them from ever questioning my land management again. I used the money to expand my pond and install a high-tech monitoring system. Now, the only things Howard hears from my property are the frogs and the sound of his own house being listed for sale. Have you ever caught a rule follower breaking some serious laws? Share your story in the comments below. I read every single one. Thanks for watching.